help you?
We are looking to talk to one of your students.
Okay, can I ask who you're asking to speak to?
I'm sorry?
Can I ask who you're asking to speak to?
Sure, yeah.
It's
Okay. Okay, can you just hang out here for 1 second?
Well, hold on, sir.
Okay.
You're going to have to follow me. Hey, how are you?
This is Lucas.
Sorry, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Good. You got to talk to a student here. We're pretty sure he's here, but...
yeah, let's have a few more.
Oh yeah, what's going on?
He's wanted for question and I'll shoot.
Okay, so basically, I can't let you guys come in and pick him from the school. I can let him know that you're here, and then I can ask him if he wants to talk to you.
Wow, what we just witnessed is how schools should be for every student everywhere in this country. Here's what people might not believe. Police officers have not always had the right to just walk up in and barge into schools or anywhere they wanted to.
That's just our policy.
No, understood.
You know what I mean? Like in terms of, like, so I can let him know, and then what I would say to him is, you know, what I'll message to him is, you know, you don't have to take care of these things. You're just going to be, you know, so.
So you're confirming he's here, but you can't bring him to us? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not confirming or denying he's here. I'm just saying it's our policy that we wouldn't bring a student to you guys.
It's also true that police officers haven't always had a presence in schools. This principle showed up in a way for the student or just for everybody who's watching or that will attend or already attend this school in a way that every principal and teacher should show up. The idea that you can allow the principal or allow police officers just to come to your school and create disruption just because they have on badges is a misnomer. You don't have to. What we've seen over the years is more and more law enforcement and security and sheriff deputies, school resource officers in schools. And what we've seen more and more of is the criminalization of kids, particularly Black and brown kids. So this principal showing up in the way he did protected a kid in a way that was probably going to turn extremely horrible. How do you know that, Mundell? Well, let me tell you. All you got to do is pay attention to these officers' demeanor. The first officer, the one that's on camera, is physically angry at this principal for rejecting him and access to his school, to his students that he's responsible for, talking about the principal.
I get it. I mean, trust me, I get it. I'm just saying that, you know, whatever the circumstance, you know, that's always the way that we live.
Do you have kids?
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about my kids. I'm not going to talk about Paul.
So if he shot at your kids, though, do you have the same policy?
So I'm just going to say that that's our policy. So you guys,
Could you go
you know
see
what I
if
mean?
he'll come down and talk to us?
Yeah, I mean, I'll see. I don't even know if he's in the building, to be honest with you.
Well, that other teacher pretty much implied that he's here. So.
I don't know if he's here. So
I can go with you if you want, but it's up to
that's
you.
okay.
But the second officer begins to ask this principal if he has kids of himself. And then he says something that's extremely telling. He had already made up his mind that this person did the shooting. They were there supposedly to question him about his shooting. But this officer already said this student was responsible for the shooting because his response to the principal was, do you have kids? If he shot at your kids, would that be your policies? There was never going to be an equal investigation. Already, this officer was going to treat that kid like a criminal. He had already convinced himself. No trial, no jury, no evidence from this defendant to defend himself. But this officer had already made him guilty. This is why we see when officers are in school, the school to prison pipeline is increased. Students are criminalized more when we have officers, and there's no research, none, that show that officers in school make schools safer. So let's cut this chain, this link out of the chain of the school to prison pipeline and get more officers out of school, get more principals and teachers to show up like this gentleman did.
Every time I'm out here, a cop say something to me each and every single time. Every single night I'm out here delivering newspapers. What are you talking about? I'm not out here stealing. I'm not out here doing anything. I'm out here delivering newspapers, bro.
In DeWitt, Michigan, that's the voice of 19-year-old newspaper delivery man Alexander Hamilton. Moments earlier, off-duty cop Chad Vorse pointed a gun at the black teenager and threatened to open fire. Vorse has now been terminated, and the city is releasing video and audio recordings from the January 2021 confrontation.
A black male hanging out in the area, and he needs to be checked.
Vorse was off duty when he saw Hamilton early in the morning driving slowly through a residential neighborhood. The cop pulled up in his red truck and asked Hamilton if he needed directions. Hamilton replied with, "I'm just doing me." So Vorse backed up and then parked behind Hamilton. When Hamilton drove out of the neighborhood, Vorse followed. Hamilton backed up to ask Vorse what he was doing, and Vorse called 911.
Just tried to ram me.
Just tried to ram you?
Yeah.
Just tried to ram 602?
Then Hamilton backed up again to try and talk to Vorse.
He's trying to ram me.
Trying to ram 602 again?
I'm going to go shots fired if he does it again.
He's going to go shots fired if he tries to ram 602 again.
Hamilton then drove to a well-lit gas station. Vorse followed, and they drove in circles until Vorse blocked in the teenager. At this point, as you can see from the surveillance video, Vorse raised his gun at Hamilton. Witnesses called Vorse's behavior shocking. Things were still heated when Michigan State Police arrived.
Oh, you was following me because you was sitting there in the houses. You thought I was breaking in the house? No.
Vorse told state troopers he thought Hamilton might have been a suspect stealing neighborhood cars.
Fits the same description, black hoodie, freaking black guy.
Frickin' black guy. The teen did not know Vorse was an off-duty police officer.
Did you have any indication that he was a police officer?
No, not at all.
All Hamilton knew is that Vorse was racist. A state trooper relayed this report to dispatch.
Told the kid right to his face, he's like, when I see a black guy in my neighborhood, that, I think you're doing stuff like this.
That's right, the cop said, when I see a black kid in my neighborhood, I think he is doing stuff like stealing cars and breaking into homes. That cop could not have been more bigoted. An internal police investigation found that the officer, Chad Vorse, violated department policies, so the DeWitt Police Department fired him. However, a county prosecutor decided not to bring criminal charges because Vorse did not actually shoot the teenager. Apparently in Clinton County, Michigan, there's nothing illegal with a police officer, on duty or off, aiming a firearm at a black teen, especially if that African American is guilty of delivering newspapers. And again, that's what this victim was doing, delivering newspapers. The carrier, Hamilton, says a lot of cops in DeWitt, Michigan have pulled him over and questioned him on his route. In other words, this isn't a case of just one former cop who was racial profiling. Several cops in DeWitt believe the worst about young black men. Sadly, this happens all over the United States. At some point, police culture needs to change. Instead of fearing the worst, law enforcement needs to respect all citizens and uphold constitutional rights. Otherwise, get off the police force.